Yeah, this is how to. This is a video on the beliefs of my own and others, that the reason why human beings become so obese, overweight, or heavy, have a lot of fat on them, is just what I'm doing right now. See, I'm cooking my food. And how many animals do you ever see really fat? Not very many. Regular animals, not like cows and stuff, because cows don't have the freedom as regular animals do. They're in a certain small area. But I'm talking about animals in the wild, especially monkeys. Where they're eat bananas and stuff like that, and climbing trees and swinging from trees and getting all the exercise. So my belief on human beings being overweight or having a lot of fat on them is, number one, they don't exercise that much. So I suggest an exercise program, but for a few hours, like half an hour or hours a day of exercise every day. Don't skip even one day. But see, the reason I'm pointing this out, where I'm cooking this soup, or anything that you cook, like meat or just anything you cook via stove or oven or microwave, anything that you heat up is what's going to make you fat. Because of the simple fact, see that heat right there? That's a lot of heat right there. A lot of heat. Okay? And since you're using heat already in most of your foods, what happens is your body doesn't have to bring it up to the temperature to consume it. So if your body doesn't have to bring it up to a certain temperature to consume it, it consumes it a lot faster. And since it consumes it a lot faster, and you can eat it, you can eat it quite rapidly after you cook it. So it's hot, and your body doesn't have to expend any energy at all to bring it down to temperature. So since it doesn't expend any energy at all, to bring it to temperature so your body can consume it, it becomes fat because it's cooked, and the stove already put the energy into it. That takes it to your body takes it to a certain temperature to consume it. So what happens is, if you exercise, let's say half an hour, hours a day, let's say, and you don't eat anything that's cooked. Don't eat anything that's cooked. Like meat, you have to cook that. But sushi, I don't think it's cooked. I think that's raw. I think that's raw fish. I'm not sure. I'm not a cook, but I'm more of a health person. And figured out why people get obese or get a lot of fat on them or get heavy. And that's one of the reasons when you cook. So if you eliminate cooking, if you eliminate all cooking out of your diet, let's say you become a vegetarian, because you don't have to cook any of the vegetables. So you become a vegetarian. If you become a vegetarian, you don't have to cook. You don't have to cook anything. Like you can use like bread and stuff like that. Stuff you don't have to bring up to a temperature. Like bread, and I'm not sure if you have to cook any of the soups that are in a can, because I think they've been cooked before. So most soups in a can, you can probably just eat out of the can and not cook it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. Don't do it, because Find out first. Go on the internet and do some research on that, because I haven't done that. I haven't researched that, where you can eat food, anything out of a can, or most things out of a can, like soups, like this soup I'm cooking. This chicken noodle soup I'm cooking. I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard truck drivers that are on the road most of the time, don't have time to cook. They just open up the can and eat right out of it. So I don't know. You have to check on that one. But I know you can eat the vegetables, all the vegetables, uncooked. It's just room temperature. And not only that, not only don't cook your food, but even add a twist to it. Drink stuff with it's real cold, like from the refrigerator or freezer, or drink stuff that's cold. The colder food you eat, the more your body has to bring that up to a temperature. So eat ice if you like ice. If you like ice, eat ice. If you don't like ice, eat ice, then put ice in your drink or refrigerate it, or put it in the freezer for a while. This is all ain't solid because you're gonna have to drink it, right? So the colder and the less hot stuff you eat, and the more colder stuff you eat, the more your body has to work. The more your body has to work, like you're working out and workout. The more it has to work, the more it has to expend energy. It has to expend more and more energy, And if you're not eating any cooked food, and you're eating ice food, like ice cold soda, you can have just about anything you eat now. Just don't cook it. And matter of fact, bring it so it's almost to ice, like a slush. Shoot, the slush, man, that'd be a diet thing, because it's got ice all throughout the drink, and you're drinking ice. So the more ice or the more cold food you eat, the more your body's gonna bring that up to temperature to absorb it. It's pretty simple. I've never been way overweight. Maybe 5-10 pounds. Like now, see a little. I don't know. Can't really pinch an inch. Well, yeah, maybe you can pinch an inch. If you can pinch an inch, maybe. But I'm not really overweight. I've never really had an overweight problem, and I've cooked food, a lot of cooked food, but I just have the body that you can, eat cooked food and eat whatever food I want and don't get way overweight, because I exercise. I do, right now I'm doing 60 push-ups 3 times a day, 60 push-ups. I'm juggling, and, I'll walk from here to there once in a while, and I'm not saying you have to go, pop your veins on your neck like Arnold Schwarzenegger does every day. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you gotta add some more exercise. That'd be push-ups or whatever, I suggest push-ups because they're an all-around exercise. They're very, very much so respiratory when you get up to over 60 or up to 100. Very much, respiratory, definitely, without a question. Push-ups are respiratory, especially when you get up to around 100. Because I've done 340 push-ups, reps of 340 push-ups. So your rep don't really kick in until around 50, 60 push-ups. So that's when it becomes respiratory and not just arm strength. Arm strength, like that. It's also respiratory. A lot of respiratory. Man, is that respiratory. But not to get off the subject, but to lose weight, you shouldn't cook your food. You shouldn't cook your food all the time, or never cook it. Just never cook it. Then you should drink or eat ice cold stuff, like a cold sandwich or something. You should drink ice drinks. Anything with you can put ice in, drink that. Because see, your body doesn't have to work. It has to work. It has to expend energy to consume that drink. and consume that whatever you're eating, a cold meat, cold salami sandwich or whatever it is. So you can eat most of what you're eating now. Just don't eat it the way you eat it. Like cook it. Just don't do that, because what you're doing when you're cooking it, you know, you're bringing it up to a temperature you like, but your body doesn't have to work that hard to consume it. See, make your body work. Make your body work. Like that's why I do push-ups. I make my body work, and I got, you know, fairly good strong arms. You know, I got fairly good strong arms, and right here, your chest muscles. I can flex my chest muscles good, and a little bit of ab, but I can't see my abs because I think there's a little fat in there. But everybody has abs. It's just a matter how much fat they got over the top of your abs, if you can see them or not. But yeah. So you eat the same food you eat now. Just change the way you eat it. And if you're gonna eat a hot, flaming hot, you know, steak, flaming hot steak, and flaming hot potatoes, you know, steak and potatoes, then drink something real cold. Drink something real cold with it. You know, like really ice cold, like a slush, with ice all throughout it. But the more cold you eat, and the less heated food you eat, you're gonna drop weight. You won't be able to keep the weight because of the ice in there or the coldness. Your body has to bring it up to, you know, 98.6 or higher. Cause you got like stomach acids in your stomach that bring that up. And why not make that work and have you lose weight? Just eat everything you eat now. Just eat it differently. Like if you eat something hot, then drink something that's very cold, or, you know, eat ice or drink a very cold icy drink. You know, don't just drink, you know, lukewarm, cold drink. Drink icy drink, because the more your body has to bring that down or bring it up and bring the temperature up, the more you have to expend energy, even though you're just sitting there eating, you know. So that's my philosophy. You know, the colder the food you eat, the more you're going to lose weight, and the warmer the food you eat, the more you're going to gain weight, the more you're going to gain it. You gain it. You know, because your body don't have to work to absorb it. It's simple. You know, just look at all wild animals. How many wild animals have you seen, you know, way overweight like you have in humans, where their belly is like sticking this big out and it can barely walk, you know, their thighs are like this big. How many animals have you ever seen that are like that? I've never seen one. I've never seen one yet. Not a deer, not anything, not any animal. You know, maybe if you go in the sea, you know, where you see what are they? The whale. You know, look how much that whale eats. Jeez, you know, consumes like a ton of food at one chomp. You know, but you know, whales, but still, you know, but they're built. I guess they're built to be fat because of the reason why they're fat is because of the outside temperature is so extreme, so cold, and they need the fat. But, you know, to stay warm, they need that fat. Without that fat, they'd die. But you as a human don't need that much fat, because you got a nice warm house. See, that's another thing. If you stay in a cold area where you're almost shivering, you lose weight. I got my electric and gas and electric turned off before, and I lived 4 or 5 months in the winter where it was below, where it got, what was the coldest? I think the coldest was like 3 or 4 below zero outside. And I had no way other than, well, I spent the time in the bathroom and just turned on the hot water because the energy company said they didn't know that the gas would keep on, you know, they didn't know that I'd be able to use the hot water heater and turn on the hot water to, you know, in the tub, and then have the shower come down like that, have it run for half an hour to an hour, and it'd be nice and warm in there. But the problem with that is the bathroom was only 5 feet wide and probably 8 feet plus the tub, so it was a small area, and it made it really, really, really humid inside. And after a few days of that, you're breathing in that humid air, your lungs get water in them, and then it sounds like you got water in your lungs when you're talking. So that's how I stayed warm that winter, is with a hot shower. Every hour, it was every hour, and I fell asleep a few times with the damn thing running, and going into the tub. I fell asleep a few times because it was 4 or 5 months in the winter that I lived in the bathroom, because that's the only source of heat I had, and very humid. But if you stay in places where it's cold and keep your house colder to keep your house, I let mine get down to about 60. See, what was that? Was coldest I got was like 58, I think, 58 degrees. I let it get down to, because I'm saving on money on the bill. But when you live with no heat source, heat source all the time, you lose weight. I lost weight during them 4 or 5 months, because my body was, it was in survival mode because it was cold inside, other than that little area in the bathroom. So the colder you keep your, where you're living, the better. But I'm not saying you have to turn the heat way down, but I suggest it until your waist is where you want it, or your arms or your legs are where they want it, where you want it. That's how you can lose weight. The coldness, because your body has to keep your 98.6. It has to keep that. It's one thing it has to do. So if it's 50, if it's 58 and it's got to bring it up to 98.6, it's got to expend a lot of energy. So it'd be really hard to be fat. But I'm Dan. Same time, same channel. See you then. And lose that weight by keeping everything cold. Don't heat up anything.